My little pony, my little pony.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bronyville. This is Bronyville episode number 40, recorded on February 4th, 2012. I am your host, Cider. Hello. Nice to have you listening in today. Got a jam-packed show. It's going to be fun. We've got lots of ponies to talk about. So, as usual, I need to first welcome my gracious little co-host. Hey there, Chef Sandy.
Hello, hello.
Good to have you on for today. Lots of craziness this week, for sure.
Yep.
We got much to talk about, and we got to talk about your Rainbow Dash, that filly.
She is a good pony.
Okay.
She's not the brightest pony, though.
That is.
But we'll get to that.
We have some fun guests with us this week, all the way over from the land of Everfree, Con. We have two of the organizers for it. First off will be Bajodi.
Well, hey there.
How are you, dear sir?
I'm doing pretty mighty fine this morning. It's beautiful up here in Seattle.
No, it's good to hear. I think it's kind of beautiful all over. The world's been kind of, at least, here in the States, has been kind of nice. You guys had that big snowstorm a while back, but how are you guys faring after that?
Things are back to normal.
All right, good deal. And, oh boy, I said this earlier. I can do it. Markarian, hello.
How's it going?
All right, cool. I got it right. Doing good over there in the Seattle-ish area as well.
We are having a very rare sunny winter day. I guess the Pegasi have been kind to us this afternoon.
Awesome. That sounds super cool. So you two are organizers for the Everfree Northwest Convention up there in Seattle, coming up this summer. Do you want to just do a quick plug? We'll talk about your convention a little bit more and everything in a little bit, but just so every pony knows where to seek you guys out.
Sure thing. Well, like I said, my name's Markarian, and I am the co-chair of Everfree Northwest and also the head of media and PR. I'm also the president of our board of directors, who are 7 tireless individuals, including Bajodi and myself, who are working to bring you the West Coast Premier Pony event, which will be held on the weekend of August 17th through 19th at the SeaTac Airport Holiday Inn here in Seattle.
Woo!
Sounds exciting.
Checked it out. That hotel looks awesome. I'm looking forward to that so much. So good to have you two on. We've got a lot of crazy to talk about today, and we've also got a lot of pony to talk about today. So, as usual, we have to first interrogate you heavily about your love for pony. So let's do this. Bajodi, I need to know best pony. Go.
Best pony? I'm probably going to have to say Rainbow Dash for that one. I know Sandy agrees. But if you want to know my favorite background pony, it would definitely be Vinyl Scratch.
Acceptable.
I'm just a music guy, so
redeem yourself.
If you want to believe that's my best pony, then go for it.
Okay, good. Vinyl Scratch, best pony for Bajodi, because it hurts less. Markarian, what about you?
Well, for the main 6, I definitely have to say, Bajodi, that's not how you spell rarity. And also, but for overall best pony, I have to go with Sweetie Bot.
From the Friendship is Witchcraft.
Absolutely.
Be at maximum efficiency.
Just because you are upset does not mean you have to yell.
I love the running song. That was pretty amazing on that. Good going, Friendship is Witchcraft people. You've converted one more to liking your stuff. All right, well that's cool. So let's see. We got to do favorite episode. Bajodi, what do you like?
Yeah, I had to ask myself, like, if I were to watch an episode for an entire day, just nonstop, over and over and over again, the only one I can honestly say that to would probably be the premiere episodes for season 2, because they were just fantastic. They're all around like brilliant writing. I have a friend that hates ponies, but she watched this one and like, wow, she approved wholeheartedly.
She liking the Discord over there.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wasn't even a huge, not at all a Trekkie. I hadn't watched pretty much any Star Trek anything before Markarian actually showed me an episode of Q a while back. But even with that, the characterization of Discord was just top notch. And I really understand why they chose him for the voice for that.
All right, super cool. And Mark Arian, what about you?
Well, again, this is such a hard question because how do you choose? I will say though that what drew me into the show was the music, and the episode that I happened to walk in on that really hooked me was Suited for Success because it was Rarity's Art of the Dress scene. So that's always kind of been the one that I come back to. But I will definitely say that Read It and Weep is going to make my top 5.
Ooh. We get to talk about that a little bit later, so there you go.
Indeed.
So why do you guys like the show so much, huh? Jody, so why are you still into this craziness? I mean, you're doing a whole friggin' convention. You obviously like it for some reason.
Well, I love the show pretty much in every aspect that everyone's ever brought up for it. There's a whole crapload of reasons why it's fantastic, but I guess the reason I keep coming back is this community. Just that hundreds of thousands of people that just go kind of all out. And it's always amazed me how it's sparked people's creative ambition. People who have never really written anything before are suddenly, fanfic, phenomenal artists, musicians, PMV makers. Every side of this community just is dripping with these creative juices.
Very creative juice. Ooh. Like delicious. And Mark, what about
that?
Yeah, that's flavor you can savor. And Mark, what about you?
Well, I definitely have to echo Bajati's sentiments, but I will say that one of the things about it is just in the show itself. There's this lack of cynicism. There's just kind of an idealism there without being patronizing or condescending, and something like that is very rare. It's not something you see every day. So it's really what keeps me coming back. You can tell that every single aspect of the show has the utmost effort put into it. They don't cut corners. They put their heart and soul into the writing, the animation, the music. It's world-class animation, and it really kind of makes me think back to all the, cartoons that I grew up with, like Looney Tunes and Rescue Rangers and Tailspin, that were really well animated and had a lot of plot and a lot of characterization that just, you don't really see it very often anymore. So that's one of the things that definitely keeps me coming back.
Keeps you coming back to Marshmallow Ponies, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And our last little question for you, too, starting with Jody as usual. All right, so you like, pastel-colored ponies. What do others think about this, huh?
Well, I've gotten a good range of responses from this, but I love telling people that I'm so into the show because they get kind of put off for a second, but then usually if they know me well enough, they'd be like, well, Bajati's not really one to troll, so there might be something to this. And I always get them to at least watch a few episodes. I've gotten all of my friends to watch like the 3, kind of that magic number you need to watch to really get a feel for the show. And I make them see the pilots, and I pick out an episode that kind of would probably ring to them well, and I let them make a decision. I don't really force it on them. You can't push them in the corner and make them decide, or they'll just reject it all.
Don't push baby in a corner.
I've gotten some fantastic responses, and even to the point where my uncle watches the show, my aunt loves it, my grandmother watches it, and my parents have some indifference. My mom thinks it's cute, and my dad is just really curious of where I'm going with this convention because he's kind of the business side of things. But yeah, I've hit very, very few people to completely reject the show after watching it.
That's good. All right, and Mark, what about you?
Well, it's kind of all over the board, really. I'm really fortunate that the house I live in is, a house of 5 diehard bronies. So basically, everybody in this house absolutely adores the show. As a matter of fact, Blobus and Silvertail are our amazing tech team that brought you this fabulous website at everfreenw.com. Silvertail did all the art. He also was featured in Draw Friend a couple months ago, if you might remember. He drew the Fluttershy and the Bellhops uniform holding the little bell. So basically, this is a very Brony-minded household. My dad is the only one in the family who knows that I'm into ponies, and he's supportive of it. He's really interested in, again, where the con is going, kind of like Bajati's dad. And I have another circle of friends that I hang out with who are just, really kind of, they're not like, they don't watch the show. One of my best friends, he says he loves the music, Can't stand the show otherwise, but loves the fans. He loves bronies, but doesn't really. He's not into the show.
Oh, you're talking about Daniel?
That's Daniel. And then
he's
just yeah, this guy is crazy. And then the opposite end, he likes the show but can't stand the fans. So I get like all sorts of different responses when I tell people about this.
I enjoy it. I just don't want anybody to know I do. It's one of those late night, just like, I'll type on the message boards, but don't let me ever be seen with this. It's like Rainbow Dash with a book. Relevant. Okay, well that takes care. Thank you two, for joining us today. We've got tons to talk about, but first I need to let Sandy Poo over there talk a little bit about our sponsor.
Indeed, our sponsor is We Love Fine, purveyors of fine pony merchandise. And if you use our coupon code, Bronyville10, you can get 10% off your purchase of, well, a shirt or print or hat or all sorts of product. And
go get yourself a bag. Get yourself anything. They're covering the world with pony swag.
Yep.
And they will be joining us at Everfree Northwest. So if you would like to purchase this fine merchandise in person,
are they gonna pre-print shirts, or are they gonna make them there with a hot press?
We haven't officially announced this yet, but I guess we are right now. They are officially they are our official T-shirt vendor. They are going to be providing our actual con shirts and souvenir apparel, and they will be having a dealer's booth at our convention.
Cool.
Nice.
And they for sure aren't pimping us to or paying us to pimp them out. But I've got to say, We Love Fine. They've been with the community from when it started up. They are just a fantastic company.
Definitely a bro huff that We Love Fine.
They are awesome. They are great. They have been very supportive of the community. I remember when we first started, people were like, I'm not too sure. But I think, just by what I've received and a whole bunch of other stuff, I think any of like the questions of, is there quality? No, dude, their stuff is top notch now. I love their shirts.
Yeah.
They are silky smooth. They're awesome. So very cool. Thank you. We Love Fine. All right, Sandy, you ready to do this?
All right.
I've
got my gas mask.
All right.
Oh God.
I'm stretching this out. All right, so it's time to truth you. It's time to give you all some knowledge about what's going on out there. Because, all right, there's been a lot going on in the world of pony as of late, and there's a lot of questions hanging out there. And I think what we decided after, what happened this week, which we will get to as well, is that it's gotten to the point where it's something where the community as a whole needs to hear this, because it's something you need to understand. It's something that a lot of the people who are helping you try and get content are working with at this point. And it's also something that we need you to understand, that there's a lot of complexity to this, and that we are trying our best to put the best foot forward and try and, be as nice people as we can. And this is very vague. It'll all become clear, hopefully, in just a little bit. So here's what's been happening. So around about the time right after BronyCon, Hasbro has actually ended up tightening the strings around its intellectual property. This means pretty much access that we normally received, as in pretty easy communication with people who worked at Studio B and DHX, as well as, information from Hasbro. Access to VAs and information about the show has kind of just gotten very, very hard to get. And this access is just being, just kind of, it's behind just a walled garden. This doesn't only relate to just us. This isn't your Equestria Dailies of the world. This isn't your Derpy Hooves. This isn't your Everfree Radio or us. This deals with everyone. A case in point, the Dennis Daniels show was to have Kathy Weislick, who does the voice of Spike, but at the last minute couldn't do it because there were problems. So it's around the world. It's not just happening to us. And it may be understandable because this is Hasbro trying to manage their IP and trying to understand how to get a grasp on everything. And you have to understand that in the past, things have been maybe a little bit too easy to get to. You know, there was super easy access to EVAs and production team. You know, there may have been some interpretations about how some events went that Hasbro may have or may not have had a liking to. That's completely up in the air because, as I said, it's hard to actually understand exactly what's going on at this point. And, you know, there's been some complaints that have been lodged towards the show, towards Hasbro about particular things. So that's just an explanation about the base level, what's been going on with that, with dealing with Hasbro themselves. Is there, before I go into the next point, anything you guys in particular want to chat about on that?
Well, I think you pretty much said all that we were able. I mean, it's pretty much all the information we have, really, and that's a good point to make. Is that's why we haven't officially announced any guests yet. It's not that we haven't been in direct talks with some of the show's creative talent and voice actors. It's just that until we have an official stance from Hasbro and essentially have their blessing to go ahead with this and make sure that everything's kosher, you know, we're kind of deciding to keep that announcement until then.
Yeah, stay on the safe side. And I mean, this affects everything. You know, we have Sandy coming over here in a little bit for animation on display, and from all intents and purposes, it looks like that's still going to happen. But a lot of stuff is really up in the air at this point. We're trying our best, you know, just to make things happen. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have to defer to whatever Hasbro wants, you know, for good or for bad. And, you know, us, we defer to, you know, saying we side with everyone. We side with Studio B, we side with, you know, DHX, and we side with Hasbro. You know, it's their intellectual property. They, to some degree, have the ability to rein in what they wish.
Yeah. And specifically regarding AOD, we have compiled a list, but we have to send that list off and get it approved. So the questions that we're able to ask are going to be decided by Hasbro. Mm-hmm. This is just another aspect of this whole situation. So what we're able to get is going to have to be approved by them. So
this is just a little bit of a glimpse behind the curtain over here to what us and I think a lot of the people, if you want to say the Illuminati, are dealing with. I love that term so badly. So just so you know, that's a little bit behind the garden, because that does also lead into the next thing. I'll let Chef go into it a little bit, but I'll do the ... because all this comes from users who have lodged complaints about the show ...
Okay, so this is the skinny. A small vocal group of people have lodged complaints with Hasbro PR that Derpy was offensive. And Hasbro responded by looking into it. And as noted here in the notes, that Derpy is a tricky character because the name Derpy exists before any mention in any published Hasbro material. And that makes the actual owner of the character somewhat dubious and a potential liability for Hasbro. The rest of this is speculative, but what we know thus far is the last roundup in an episode where Derpy features and is mentioned by name is at this time unavailable on iTunes, and rumor has it that some of Hasbro's vendors, We Love Fine, had been approached to remove the term Derpy from the merchandise. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the script. The email, we got the email, we're the ones that started that firestorm. We were asked, on behalf of a contact, to show that the community supports Derpy as a character. And to that end, we were successful for now.
And the only reason that we do not disclose that, and trust me, if we could, we would, but it's one of those things with...
This person could lose their job.
It's dangerous. So
this was somebody that did an end run to get community support rallied, and we did.
We 100% trust this person. So.
And to that end, I mean, we all saw, and people were reporting, that the names were being changed. Pony Cutie Mark, Pony Bag, stuff like that. They were getting changed, and our support was shown to Hasbro, and apparently got them to back off for now. Whether or not, I'm sure that this will come up in the future. But the fact that the community was able to be rallied in support of a cartoon pony is pretty good. And as we said, the internet rallied, and 24 hours after the Save Derpy hashtag started, 1,500 tweets generated 292,148 impressions, reaching an audience of 94,454 followers via the hashtracking.com website. The message should be this: Derpy means a lot to us because she represents what so many cartoons aren't. What started as a simple animation error came to life with its own clumsy but lovable character, and we may think that she represents a lot of what the whole Brony thing's about. She's silly, goofy, clumsy, and maybe a little weird, but in the end she's a loving, caring, and has her heart in the right place even when things go wrong. Derpy is not an insult. She stands for all those who decide to be a little weird and love this show. When the name was uttered in the last round, with the vast majority of the fandom erupted in jubilation. What other community can say they have done this? The message from us at Bronyville is essentially this: stand up for what you feel and be heard. Don't be angry, don't go after Hasbro. In their mind, they're only doing what they have to do to protect their brand. And they're still learning how to deal with ours and other communities who exist outside of their normal fans. We should not be silent, but we can't really be too loud. We need to follow what we've stated we are about so long ago: love and tolerance. Their times may not be as cheerful right now. Only by being cordial and working with them can progress be made. Understand the old proverb, this too shall pass. You know, we're not trying to bring anybody down. We're trying to get the community a bit of a frame of reference. For the thing is, you know, Hasbro is a very old conservative company, and they're not used to communities like ours. So we have to really play nice.
And we are not the only community that is feeling this as well. Similar things are happening, I've heard, with the female Transformers fans, actually, where they exist outside their normal demographic, and they don't actually understand what they need to do. So.
And the name Derpy is back up on the Wheel of Fine website, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
If you want the fly a banner of of success, yes, the term Derpy is there. The contact that we had stated that they used that. They were intense negotiation. That there was they had been intending to do more things with that name, and that their statement was, we're working on it because that could be harmful. But for the most part, it is. For right now, it seems that we have. I don't want to say we have won, because if you say we have won, that means that it's ended. This may happen again, and we may have to show up again. That's why we want to, even today, state we need to be focused, but we need to be civil.
We want to make sure that as a community, we're not advocating any kind of adversarial relationship with Hasbro, because ultimately,
if it goes to that, we're getting nothing else.
Yeah, and not only that, but credit where credit is due. They really did bring us this show. Not directly, but they did seek out Lauren Faust and take a chance on a very unconventional animator to bring this series to life. So I think that at least is definitely credit in their favor, that they're willing to try something new.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are actually saying that this is a war, we need to fight these battles, but we just need to stand our ground for the most part. Yeah, because a lot of it did just come out of what the community wanted, and so far the show is kind of making history. We just want to keep it rolling in the right direction.
And and I think that, funny enough, Derpy, she does mean probably the most to this fandom than any character out there. If we... it was kind of echoed a while back with another interview where there was just like, what's the best pony? And they were like, it's Derpy, because Derpy represents this community. And it was one of those things where the moment that it seemed like that someone didn't understand that and actually pondered, like, is this offensive? We should probably get rid of that, was where it became its own weird thing. It's so hard to explain, but...
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is that Derpy seems to represent not just this community, but the constant references of her in the show that have been getting more and more kind of salient. They've just stuck out more and more. she kind of represents the special bond that the community has directly with the DHX creative team. I mean, it's just showing how much affection they have for what we believe in, and that's really important. And I want to make sure that that's not something that Hasbro or the rest of the community overlooks.
And if you want to give one case of point to understand that if people at Studio B feel this way, you should go look at the friends list of Save Derpy and just see if there's any notable names there. You might be surprised. Okay, everyone, just giving you, this is a little addendum, a little update to what we were recorded. You might notice that this sounds a little different, whatever. We actually had some additional information, so we're adding this to the MP3, we're adding this to the file, record scratch, whatever you need to hear. I do have Markarian and Jody with us again. Hello, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello.
And Sandy's with us, too. Hey, Sandy.
Hello.
And we actually, to show that this is a unified force gathering together to give you this message, hello, Sethisto.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, and we also got Derpy Squad and Plaster.
What's up?
Yay. All right, so, yeah, Derpy Squad's got his audio off. And Klisk also from BronyCon. Hey, Klisk.
Hello.
And Roy GF if he wanted to say anything.
Yo, what's up?
Okay. So anyway, Markarian has a little bit of information. We, of course, at the kind of top of this episode, we talked a little bit, the top of the file that we have over at our show. We talked a little bit about all the things that was going down at the time with Hasbro. And just so happens we published the file and more information comes out. So to keep you as updated as possible, take it away, Markarian.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Well, I had a really nice chat with the head of Hasbro's PR and marketing, and I asked him really nicely about what was going on with the so-called freeze on having any kind of voice talent or creative talent from the show appearing at events. And what he told me was that Hasbro was just trying to get a handle on this whole phenomenon so they could develop an actual official policy and strategy for coping with this. And the main reason that he said that this was an issue was because of the enormous demand from all over the country for these people to appear at events, and he doesn't want them to get stretched too thin. So he wanted the community to know that Hasbro was not working against them. He said, I don't want people to think that this is big bad Hasbro putting the hammer down. He said, we're not saying no. They just want a few weeks to get a handle on this, was the main gist of the conversation. It was a very positive conversation. It sounded very upbeat, very helpful. I think that his main message was just to hold our horses for now, no pun intended.
All right, that sounds, and so just for right now, don't have to worry. No freakouts on this. But it sounds like that for the most part, they just need a little bit of time to collect themselves.
Right. Hasbro is, I'm sure most of you are aware that Hasbro isn't quite prepared to market this franchise to pretty much the opposite demographic. But that being said, the gentleman that I spoke to was in charge of the Transformers franchise for 4 years, so he knows our general age group and demographic very well, and it sounds like My Little Pony is in good hooves, and they're just trying to get a handle on things, and have kindly requested a little bit of time to do that.
Okay, if there's anything else any of you panel of excellence want to talk about, this is just a quick little feed, but anything else, or are we good for this? All right, sounds like we're...
Just important news. We wanted everybody to know.
I actually wanted to point out that
Go Blaster.
Let's try not to bug Hasbro any more than we already have. It's kind of thin ice right now. I would like to keep it kosher and being on good terms as much as we can.
Yes, please. This guy has said that he's running through a dozen emails a day just having to do with this. So please, let's not give him any reason to feel overwhelmed or flustered by the Brony community. Mm-hmm. We just want to make sure that the closing note of our conversation is that we as a community are really looking forward to a positive dialogue and working with Hasbro, not aside from or against Hasbro. So I urge all of you in the community out there to, for now, place your trust in that Hasbro will not do wrong by us and will continue to allow us to have our fun.
Yep. Remember, you can just go ahead and, save Derpy's okay. You can stop that now. It's good. You're good. And yeah, just be civil and be nice and maybe give them a little bit of rest. Don't send them so many PR notes. That'd be a good thing to do. They need a vacation too, damn it.
They did. And I think that's the main thrust of it. It was, like I said, a very positive conversation.
All right. I think that probably handles all that we need to do. So we'll go ahead and publish this out to all over the place so you guys can go and hear it. So, yeah, a little update on the community. There you go, guys. Have fun with it.
Woo.
Yep.
Good news.
It's not
Fantastic.
on fire. You're fine. All right. Take care, all. So, all right. Anything else? Or shall we go ahead and move into... shake it out. Shake it out.
Oh.
It's all serious.
Yeah, feels good.
I don't think anything's singed.
All right.
We'll find out next week, huh?
All right. Do
All
it.
right.
Sheffy, what we got in better news, or at least lighthearted news? Can we
Yes.
laugh a little bit? It feels better. All right.
All right. So, hey, in actual other news, there's plenty of good news coming out. The Smile Charity ended its charity album they brought in $26,000 in 1 month's time for the Children's Cancer Association. So that is amazing, and the community deserves a pat on the back for raising that kind of money in that little amount of time. For the people that said, "Oh, this community, what is it doing?" Well, here you go. Here's an example. We raised $26,000 for kids with cancer. So thumbs up to those guys. And they have other projects on the way, so keep an eye out from their Bronies for Good website. And looks for, they're doing a emergency clinic in Uganda and a village in Burundi.
Put up some ponies there and help out some people.
And they're working on another album to be sold at some point after February 29th. So there you go.
All right, good deal.
Moving on to other cool news, the Humble Brony Bundle Round 3 has begun. So if you are a patron of the Humble Indie Bundle, then here's another round. We totally dominated last time, and here we go again.
What? Okay. You should go click the link and see how much they've raised so far. They've already beat their old record.
Wow.
$20,000.
No. That says
Wait.
they've raised over $20,000 in total.
I'm a derp.
Yes.
That's
So their current total as of February 2nd is $20,046.
okay.
So that's $46,000 for various causes. That's really cool. Humble Brony is up to, they posted it on January 31st, but Humble Indie Bundle 4 is for, looks like everything and Android.
Mm-hmm.
So Anomaly, Osmos, Edge, World of Goo, and so you get some phone games and some regular games.
And they work on all systems, so not just Android. So if you also want them
Humble
for...
Brony is once again on top with $1,700. So that's really cool.
But keep at it, because you never know when Notch will show up. That's Notch.
Oh, Notch.
Oh, yeah.
Notch.
You and your
Everyone say
Minecraft.
his name. Notch.
Notch.
Notch is a cool bro, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. I met him.
Yeah, same.
He's just like, I made a popular video game. It seems to have done well.
It seems okay. And the last little bit of news, which is, again, really cool and indicative of the way that, this... what the hell? There was an image saying that... look at that, the Hasbro clampdown. There was a screenshot of a journal on DA that was saying that, the Doctor Who's character in Super CD Cider Squeezy was totally a reference, because he's the one controlling the time. But the image has been removed, so that's kind of terrible. Huh. Oh, well.
Trust us, we're not doctors, but we saw it earlier.
It's one of those things that, why would they take that down? That makes, whatever. Again, this is probably indicative of Hasbro going, yeah, we don't want that much information out there. We'll see.
Especially with the Doctor Who's reference, BBC is very, very, very protective of that IP.
Yeah, and so, there you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta play by the rules. Okay, so, hey, we're gonna go look at fanfics.
Yay! Taking the week off, I did it last week. Neener.
Reading's hard, isn't it?
Sure is. What, you didn't read last week. Quiet yourself.
I actually had a little bit of time to read this week.
All
so
right.
I read Social Standards by Rada Von Von.
Uh-huh.
It's...
What's that about?
Rayburn Apple's always been raised in a conservative household as a member of the Apple family. Throughout his life, he's been taught what's wrong and what's right, and who he's allowed to love and who hasn't. Above all, he's told what to be and how to be it. When he meets a certain blue Pegasus trying pies at Sweet Apple Acres, things change. Dun dun dun. It's slice of life, romance, shipping. It's
Apple
my
burn.
kind of- yeah.
Apple burn.
Or apple sore.
Soreburn? I don't
Sore
know.
burn, there you go.
No.
Soreburn sounds like somebody tried to say sorghum and missed.
Yeah. It's a very social issues thing where it like presents the world as similar to I guess the real world and some of its opinions. It's still one of those, it's in progress. There's 5 chapters. The last update was the 31st, and it's 18,095 words long so far.
Wow.
It's pretty good, and hopefully it will not be one of those stories that I'm like, yeah, this looks great, and then it disappears and never is updated again. I've had such a bad track record with that.
Wah, wah. All right, Bajodi.
All right. I think I'll preface this just by saying that I'm not really a huge fanfic guy, and it's more so just that I don't have time these days. But it really it took this community for me to realize kind of what the whole fanfic idea was all about. Being part of like the Harry Potter community before this and other communities, like I never really understood fanfics. I'm like, yeah, not my thing. But now, okay, they're awesome, basically. Anyways, the one I want to pimp out is actually one written by Mark Harrion.
Hey,
He's currently currently writing a story called Brony, which is a human in Equestria story. Only 2 chapters published right now.
Yeah,
I
I think it's about 9,000 words at this point.
Yeah, but you are just professional at this. If you don't necessarily like the human Equestria type story, I'd still say check this one out because it's not. It does things differently. I'm not going to go too into the summary. If Ben wants to, he can. But
I'm just saying I don't want to give too much away, but basically it's. And thanks for plugging me. I feel a little put on the spot, but that's fine.
tell us why your story's so good. Come on.
Okay. Basically, the premise is the main character is supposed to be kind of an every brony. He's kind of a representative of our community, and in my opinion, what represents the best ideals that our community has to offer. And he finds himself in Equestria. I'm not going to say how he gets there. But it basically has to deal with his day-to-day interactions with the different characters that he knows and loves, or rather he thinks he knows. And it's just kind of the story, even though it has the ponies in it and it has the characters from the show in it, the story is really about him and his experience as a brony, as a member of the community. Let's see, just the blurb that I wrote here says, when a contemporary human stumbles upon Equestria and makes his presence known in Ponyville, he believes he's living his most cherished desire. But reality soon begins to intrude upon his hub-tinted vision of this magical land, and he begins to question his most basic assumptions about life, Equestria, and what My Little Pony means to him. Ultimately, the characters he knows and loves could end up influencing the most important decision he will ever make. So, I guess Vijati says it's good, so I'll take his word for it.
Well, yeah, and not to pigeonhole the whole human and Equestria genre, but from what I've understood, a lot of it is the author writing their character into Ponyville or Equestria, and then kind of living out like what they would do and how fun it would be. And you kind of take a different direction because that's like you expect that, but then it's really it's not what you'd think Ponyville would be. It's more of a reality check, which is really interesting. There's a lot of kind of psychological thoughts going into it. I don't know if it's more of a intellectual experience for a novel, but it's definitely a good read. I'd fully recommend it.
All right, good deal. And okay, Mark, so now you got to suggest something. Do it.
Well, I have to admit, I don't read a lot of pony fanfic. I just kind of started writing this off the hoof, but there is one that I started reading randomly, and I did not really read very much of it, but what I did, I thought it was very entertaining, and it is called Bad End by Homefrog, and it is basically, I think the premise is Apple Bloom becomes a zombie and has to come to terms with that, and, with her family or something like that.
Sad,
so it's
dark.
sort of like a bad end after Story of the Blanks.
Yes.
Yeah, and
if you lose.
it's not like grimdark as far as I can tell. It's just kind of it's a little sad, but it also has some pretty funny moments in it too. So I'd recommend anyone looking for something different to look it up. I want to preface this, I haven't read the whole thing, so if it turns really horrible, which I don't know if it will or not, please don't blame me. I'm just the messenger.
Blame the messenger. Blame the messenger. No, but alternate universe comedy, dark, sad. So that's what's in there. I don't see any grim tags, so I think you're safe. All right, cool deal. We got that. That's all your fic. You should go read that. So we're going to do a little bit of topic time now. We've got two individuals here who love some conventionings and love putting that on. So you guys do Everfree Northwest, correct? And that is in Seattle. When is that again?
Well, it is the weekend of August 17th through 19th, so it's going to be a 3 full-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all pony. And that is here in Seattle at the SeaTac Airport Holiday Inn.
Mm-hmm. As I said, that's a great looking place. I love they've got this nice like top ballroom that looks out like onto the area. That looks so awesome. Fun fact that thing actually used to be a revolving restaurant, but they actually took out the revolving mechanism to make more space, and now it's just a big grand ballroom that overlooks the whole Duwamish Valley. So it's still a pretty impressive place. Cool. Able to see Seattle from there? Is it like obscured? I'm just curious.
Oh, the downtown area?
Yeah.
You might be able to see some skyscrapers. I can't remember exactly what the view holds on that direction.
Okay, I was just curious. I didn't know.
It is right next to the Link light rail system that will bring you up to Seattle, the downtown area, in about 20 minutes or something, though. So
I heard
really
some stuff about some great seafood.
Well, yeah, if you for anyone who is coming from out of state who's never been to Seattle before, we highly suggest you check out all the touristy stuff because there's a reason people go there. The Pike Place Market, the Space Needle. The Space Needle's a bit pricey, but it's something you should do at least once. And because we're literally across the street from the Link light rail, it's really easy for every pony to just get to and from the hotel to downtown. So if you want to go downtown and in the middle of the day and do a little bit of shopping out on the waterfront, and then come back, you can totally do that, and you don't even have to step foot in a car.
Yeah, even if you're not a tourist, I recommend going to Pike Place anyways. It's even being from the city, it's just a really cool place to check out.
All right, that sounds cool. So enough about the Seattle area. So what cool stuff? I mean, you said 3-day con. We know that, with a little bit of the stuff going on right now, some of the guest-ish stuff is a little bit up in the air, but you got We Love Fine. So give us a little taste about what you might experience at Everfree Northwest.
Well, I think that for anyone who's been to, any different kind, we're kind of taking a template from other, major, more successful conventions. We've got staff members on our board of directors who have been involved with Rainforest, which is a local furry convention. I think they're up to now for 1,500 people. And SakuraCon, Vijati, I think you and Tiara have been enforcers for PAX a number of years at this point.
Yeah, especially on the volunteer side. I'm looking towards the Penny Arcade Expo for some templating for what we're doing, but.
So we've basically had a lot of guidance in planning this event, and so just because of that, our programming is first of all, I should plug him, being developed by the tireless and genius Royal Coat, who is also on our board of directors, who's the head of events. And if you have any suggestions for events or panels, please do send him an email to events@everfreenw.com. But the model that we're taking is our event schedule is split into different tracks. So we have an art track, and we have a music track, and we have a writing track. And within these tracks are going to be different events, like, for instance, how to draw ponies, or, how to start a small business, for people that are artists who make a living doing that. We've got a couple coming. So we're also going to have spaces where people can meet and greet and socialize, not only with each other, but other, prominent members of the community and artists as well. So there's going to be a lot, definitely going to be a full schedule.
Yeah, and I might add here, we're probably going to put a feature out shortly about this. We're trying to pull up a lot of the community musicians for kind of a live performance of sorts. And that's still in the planning phases, but we should fairly soon have a large list of community guests that you could expect to see up here.
Woohoo!
I suppose I should also mention that Derpidity, I think it's
Derpidity, I think, or
yeah,
Derpidity.
Derp.
There you go, Derpy.
Yeah, he's down from your area, right? He's
Indeed.
in your meetup group.
I have met him.
And he was planning a fun little what is it? Brony stock is what he's calling it. And we were talking with them, and our plan as of now is to bring them up to Everfree and kind of merge things and have the music track be largely sponsored by you guys down there.
Both Pajati and I are musicians, so music is definitely the top of our list and always always in our thoughts, because we want to make this a very musically oriented community convention. So definitely, music is going to be a major part of our programming.
If you're a fan of the fan music from this community, then you will enjoy Everfree. I'll say that.
Going to be a lot of beats dropped there. It sounds like.
Oh yeah,
more than one wub.
We have some wonderful facilities. We have a grand piano. We will use it. I guarantee it.
Ooh.
We have a nice PA system. We are getting a lot of I just want to kind of sidetrack for a second to thank the outpouring of support that we received from the community, the local communities, especially in wanting to make this event truly special. And with people have had offers of donating high-end equipment and their time and their expertise, and I just we would not be able to do this without the community's incredible support.
That sounds super awesome. And the only other thing is that, well, I think that me and Chef have done everything but add plane tickets, because it sounds like we're going to be there. We're going to do this
definitely.
thing.
We also, we've got plenty of, because this is a community-oriented convention, we've got definitely a lot of names that you might have heard of from the community, like Mike the Microphone, Techoramity, Sophisto, of course, our great friends here at Bronyville. And we're talking to a lot of other people. Of course, like I mentioned before, We Love Fine is going to be joining us, and they're already working on our T-shirts and our staff uniforms, so we are really, really stoked about that.
Awesome, super cool. All right, that sounds good, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on, unless you had any last-second things, because we got to talk about this Rainbow Dash character for a bit.
Sure. I'll just to finish up a couple details.
Okay.
Pre-registration is open for anyone who wasn't aware. The fee is $35, and that is for any pony who is 13 and older. Any pony under the age of 13 gets in for free as long as there is a paying adult with them. Also, the space is limited. As we've seen this January, never underestimate bronies and their numbers. So that being said, I will state up front that we have a cap on how many people we can safely and comfortably fit in this hotel. So while it is a very nice property, it's not a very large one. And if you are considering going and you're getting that tax refund, I highly recommend you head on over to everfreenw.com and check us out. and sign up because we'd love to see you there.
All right, sounds good, dude. Okay, well, yeah, you should go over there. And what's the website address one more time?
It is www.everfreenw.com, Everfree Northwest.
All right, and you said a little bit earlier, no actual affiliation with the radio station.
That's right. We're definitely talking about some kind of cross-promotional arrangement with Everfree Radio because we really want to involve them, but we are not technically affiliated with them. We just happen to share the same name.
Okay. Just wanted to roll that out. I know that was a little question you'd mentioned a little earlier. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get it plenty.
Yeah, it happens. Brony Show, Bronyville, BronyShow.com. Not like we don't get a little confusing, too, so... All right, well, let's do this. We need to talk about a Rainbow Dash episode. The Mysterious... No, I'm sorry. All right, it's Read It and Weep. All right, let me go pull up the details on this. I'm not prepared.
Is this a spoiler alert at this point?
Oh yeah, this is if you have not seen the episode, well, guess what? You're about to get all spoiled up in here. This is season number 2, episode number 16, overall episode number 42. Air date on February 4th, 2012, and written by Cindy Morrow. It is Read It and Weep.
Reading is so unrainbow.
Oh, God.
She wasn't rainbowing around at all. Oh, man. I really liked this episode. It was a good, adventure-y episode, even though it had the whole, oh, goodness gracious, Rainbow Dash broke a wing.
Every sad fic ever.
But wait. Those got cannoned.
No,
Because her wing was fixed in 3 days. So, oh no.
She can never fly again. All those are gone. So let's talk about the episode, or let's go overview. So you liked it, Chef?
Yeah, I really liked it. It kind of it added to her character, and it also gave lots of fun reaction images. She knows that she's not the brightest of ponies, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And she's, totally okay with the fact that she's this jock pony. But I also really like the fact that when she's like, oh, readings for eggheads, the main six kind of, laughed at her, oh, Rainbow, you're so silly. Pat, pat.
Why you know no things.
It's like, Rainbow Dash doesn't read books. Laughingmares.jpg.
But somehow she knows how to read. I guess she at least got that part of the education done.
Well, I mean, she did go to some sort of school, I'm sure.
I was honestly worried that they were going to make this like a, Dash's dark secret is that she's illiterate, and that would have been really sad.
Oh, that would be kind of dark. Twilight, could you read this for me?
Yeah, that would have been a very weird take, but I like the fact that, the episode is really a big fantasy sequence where, it's her reading some pulpy fiction that, the Indiana Jones XP,
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, I mean, I really loved this episode because I'm a shameless fan of Clive Cussler's books, and this is like the same kind of, over-the-top, cheesy, super adventure, page turner that I love to read, and I was just kind of praying for an episode like this the entire series. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they bring back Daring Do, I will be totally squee.
Well, I love how they did their little video filter overlay.
Oh,
the
yeah.
story. That was really cool. And on top of that, and Mark Aaron, I bet you loved this too. Anderson, Will Anderson's awesome scoring behind the entire thing.
Oh yeah, that was very Williams-esque.
I'm trying to get into scoring film, and as something that I do more and more of. I've worked on independent film doing scores before, and so Will Anderson is kind of like my unsung hero, favorite member of the creative team, and I'm hooked on every note of his music for the whole series.
But the music was really good. It was very much like the opening parts of Raiders of the Lost Ark, with the various things with also some of the traps from Last Crusade.
Yeah, all they
Like
didn't have is the only one it seemed like they didn't have was the boulder. But yeah, which ones did they
I was
have?
waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, as she's walking across that puzzle, it's like there's got to be some sort of pattern to this. I'm like, no, but in the ancient pony tongue, Celestia starts with an S.
Oh. Well, at least she didn't fall in the lava.
Bad
That would have been a
end.
bad end.
Game over.
For the first book in the series.
Yeah.
What
and
the-
I thought it was great that Twilight was like, oh, I've got the entire series. And she's like, got them all on a shelf, so hey.
Well, yeah, at the very end, she did pull the third one on the shelf, so yeah, I think she snuck Rainbow Dash the 3rd edition. That's why she was a little confused at first.
Yeah.
I honestly would have. Those are the last kinds of books I would have expected Twilight to be into, to tell the truth.
See,
Actually,
now they can write fan fiction together.
fan fiction of that of them writing fan fiction and a fan fiction.
This probably just really pleases the Twi-Dash shippers.
Yo, Dash, I heard you like fanfic.
So wrote a fanfic in your fanfic about your fanfic.
Wow, that's rather meta there. All right, so let's see. And Cindy Morrow, I was just looking back. So she did Griffin the Brush Off, Winter Wrap Up, Showstoppers, Owl's Well That Ends Well, Sister Hooves, and Family Appreciation Day. So she's definitely. Oh yeah, so she's been very, very busy. Let's see.
Yeah.
How did I? I thought it was. It had a basic thing that it had to accomplish, which was. It was the story of, hey, Rainbow Dash doesn't like to read, but finds out she likes to read. I loved all the animation. The animation was just awesome to watch. The film grain, the reaction images, all the silly faces, the Dash pretending to sleep face is.
That was the best.
That was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Some of the gifs that you could get out of this, I want one of just Dash hitting that ball against the wall over and over and over. I love that. No, go ahead.
I had major surgery over the summer, and I was stuck in the hospital for 3 or 4 nights, and it was pretty much exactly like that. Even though I had ponies on my laptop, it was still boring. So I can only imagine. What?
Did you start ponies then, or did
No,
you
it was.
read Christian
I had been introduced to ponies. I think about 3 or 4 months before that, so I was still kind of new to it. But I had them all on my laptop, and I was just, it is that mind-numbingly boring and frustrating.
I actually thought of that story when I saw this, and I'm thinking, God, Dash just needs to watch some ponies. that'll take the time out.
I'm just looking, trying to find that GIF because I was like, I just saw it a little bit ago. But the episode itself, it was very nicely contained. The bit at the end where Dash decides breaking and entering is better than
actually going.
Twilight.
and asking Twilight was a little bit. That's not a lesson we should teach our children. Hide your shame by breaking into hospitals.
One thing about this episode that made me kind of do a double take is it showed something that I'd always wanted to see, and that was, I think we got the first interior shot of Dash's house.
Indeed. I think it's shown up in other, in the Flash game or so, but she has, cool little bed, and her room's not terribly messy. But I'm fairly sure that other people who have done, drawings of Dash's house actually got really close to what was actually on the show.
All right, when was this?
The very end when she's reading the rest of the books.
Okay.
And she does this cute little thing where she hugs the book into this little leg wiggle. It's like, cute ponies being cute. That's what this show should be about.
It really is.
Now, I'm not going to draw the parallels here, but Starry brought it up. Even though it's sapphire, I do have to state that does kind of look like a diamond dog. Ho, ho, ho. The relic that they're picking up. Let's see. Looking through the details here on Read It and Weep. Let's see. Pinkie Pie does say "I," similar to Alpha 5 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's a callback.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the semblance of Battleship, which is kind of interesting because it's made by Milton Bradley, a subsidiary of Hasbro. Daring Do being a reference to Indiana Jones. The fact that the Daring Do books are created in a similar way of the Harry Potter books of, Daring Do, let's see, the inside of Rainbow Dash's room is seen. The throwing the ball against the wall, is actually a reference to The Great Escape. That's interesting. While the title of the book, Twilight calls it, so Twilight calls it Quest for the Sapphire Statue, even though it is the full title, Daring Do in the Quest for the Sapphire Statue. Applejack says the chow is hoof-licking good, which is similar to KFC's finger-licking good. And one of many Daring Do's books seeing there are 3 different covers, a cover for the Quest for Sapphire Statue, the Griffin's Goblet, and a plainer cover featuring only Daring Do. The other books all have variations, mirrored or otherwise, of the Sapphire Statue cover, despite having different illustrations. The 3 different colors all bear the title scroll for Sapphire Statue. There you go.
No, I really want Hasbro to get someone to write these books as a spinoff. I would read them.
I volunteer.
All right, Hasbro, start hiring.
But did anyone catch what's the name of the that really crazy looking villain? I know it was something. It sounded like it was something.
I've got it here. Let's see. Okay, it's spelled Ahuizotl. Azorthul or something like that.
It's something in Nahuatl. Basically, it's supposed to be. I was wondering just how it was spelled because no matter how many times I said it, I couldn't even. It left my brain immediately.
A legendary creature of Aztec belief. Look at them; they're just pulling from everything. Awesome. Described as dog-like with a hands capable of manipulation and additional hand on its tail. Is feared due to the liking of human flesh, especially nails, eyes, and teeth. That was not featured on the episode today. Like to live near water and uses its hands to snatch its prey. This is based off of Wikipedia, a very trusted source on the internet. Interesting.
Gotta love these people.
All right, that's just pulling just the most interesting. Just all right, what's a crazy mythical creature you got today, dude? This thing, it's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. Anything else?
Ashley Ball voiced this Daring Do, correct? Because you still hear that voice crack.
It sounds like Rainbow Dash. It sounds like what Rainbow Dash would imagine a character that was like Rainbow Dash would sound like.
And that's mostly it, because she still has the mane. It's still that multicolor just grayed out. So it's totally her. She's just narrating the story. It's awesome.
And the eyes, I think, are even the same, like the exact same.
The magenta.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a reverse Mary Sue.
Oh, Rainbow Dash, self-inserting yourself into this.
That's so her.
Yeah, it's just me, black hair. I could do that. All right,
black like my heart.
So, all right, sounds like you guys overall liked it. I'm all right with it. You know me and Dash takes a little bit more for
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see in kind of a. Books are awesome. Go read books. Seriously, Rainbow Dash likes books. Go read them now.
It is a good way to get the action episodes in, because everybody's just like, the series needs more crazy action. There you go. You just got a whole bunch of it.
I was honestly worried it was going to be a little bit, that they were going to go into one of those, kind of ham-fisted things where it's like, you should read. It's a magical world of adventure, but they really, again, they managed to get the message across without being sappy or cheesy. I mean, it was very clever. I really liked it.
And Chef, you never told me that either your father or your brother was a doctor.
I know, right? It's kind of like, the reason that Caramel's so angry that he's the overlooked younger brother. His older brother's a unicorn, and he's just a dirty earth pony, and he can buck trees while his brother, why can't you be a doctor like your brother? His parents tell him no.
Yeah, it was just like, that sure does look That looks a lot close to Sandy, but I know you got your own fanon. Crazy fan.
Well, I just think it was funny that it's like, hey, look, Caramel has a horn now, and he's somebody else.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
There you go. All right, that sounds good. So that's Read It and Weep. Next week, you're going to have to watch another episode. This one's all about love.
So I might add one more thing on this episode.
Go for
I forgot
it.
I wrote this down. I know that some fanfic writers especially were wondering about this, such as has been, that the lantern that Rainbow Dash uses, it kind of... It shows for sure that they're using kind of the Firefly idea to light lights, artificial lighting, which it's been put in a couple episodes, but some of them are more implied or just not shown.
Well, like I really like the one where it was it was Family Appreciation Day when Scootaloo jumps up and hits the lantern in the clubhouse and it goes on. The fireflies are woken up.
Yeah,
they light up. I mean, it was a nice analog for a light bulb moment, but it was also it was just funny that they went that way with it. It's like, yeah, we got fireflies.
To blow out the lantern, you just blow away the fireflies. Like, be free.
I think because I mean, I had imagined the street lamps in Ponyville to be gas lamps, and that the reason that Dash has a firefly lantern is because that's kind of their portable power source. So if they're carrying a lantern, it's not hooked up to the gas supply, then they're going to be using fireflies. But
and the unicorns don't even need that. They're just like, I'll let my horn up.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lumos. Take that. It's like, how are you going to top that? Dirty Earth ponies.
Oh, all right. This is drop down now. Huh? You want to bring it? You want to starve this week, huh? Is that how it is? What now, huh?
Technically, we don't have any food either.
Yeah. Go back to old days where you just starved all your winter. Enjoy that. All right. Well, let's see. We'll drop this fight for today. Next episode is Heart and Hooves Day.
Where the CMC mess around with Decora's potions.
Yep. Cutie Mark Crusaders try and get Cheerly and Big Mac to fall in love. They make some concoction and quickly regret their decisions.
An error has occurred.
Here you go. Prepare for some who sees how much canon shipping comes from this. All right, so that'll be next episode. So let's take a look. You know what time it is, Chef?
It's email time.
It's emails. Send those across to Bronyville@gmail.com. We might read your email on this show. We might even say your name, like this person who is Halo Bunny. Hey, Appalicious, Thomas Jefferson, and distinguished guests. Before I start, I would like to ask, why you no read my email? Just kidding. I was only just now realized I had neglected to ask an actual question, so here it is. The last roundup is my favorite episode out so far. However, while it and Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 are amazing episodes, I do not believe they're actually good Applejack episodes. I personally did not see much character development in her in either episodes. I do realize that since I never put much thought into the shows until MLP, this may be completely wrong. What are your thoughts? Love the show, Halo Bunny. P.S. All ponies are amazing ponies, but both me and my brother agree Rainbow Dash is best pony. Despair, apple cider, despair. And if he reads that in a crazy voice, I'm going to scream like a little 3-year-old girl, masculinity be. What voice should I do that in?
Do it in the why you know voice.
Let's say the same one I did? Or, despair, apple cider, despair!
Oh boy, here we go.
All right. So Applejack episode, what do you guys think about them?
I thought they were quite good at establishing further elements to her character, that you wouldn't quite think of as, she's true to her word, even if she has to really inconvenience herself to make that happen.
I think that the last roundup was a really good bit of character development for Applejack, but I think that SSCS 6000 wasn't exactly, or SSCS 6K, let's just say that.
There we go.
I really don't think that it reflected well on the Apple family, honestly. Just reading deeper into it, they had nothing to lose. These guys pretty much riled Granny Smith up into betting the farm on a stupid contest that they knew they couldn't win, and instead of trying to negotiate a better term with them so that they could partner up and actually give everybody cider, and even though these the Flim Flam brothers were not exactly the best characters, rather not exactly the most honest of characters, I'm sure they could have come to some agreement where,
Yeah.
But instead, Big Mac says no deal, and it just goes downhill from there. So at the end, they've almost lost everything they had, and Applejack's like, I didn't learn nothing. It's all good. And I'm like, okay, if you say so. So that's
Yeah.
just,
Well, at least in that episode, she was not nearly as hard-headed and was able and willing to take help from her friends, even if it was, as you put it, for a rather pointless contest. In the end, it ultimately, the Apple family lost, and Applejack and her friends would have lost, except for the fact that the other guys had compromised their quality, and people were like, this is disgusting. What is this? Getting wood pulp and rocks with your apple cider does not put confidence in a new brand.
It certainly doesn't.
yeah, I mean, Applejack, if it hadn't been for the other guys cheating, Applejack, the Apple family, through their stubbornness, would have lost everything they had.
Well, I think somebody actually did a little recut ending where it's like, hey, you Flim Flam brothers, you mind if my friends help? They go, yep. Oh, my little pony. Where it's like, do you mind my friends helping? Yes, we do. And they lose. So, it's one of those things that, yes, it is a cartoon and it's going to go a particular way, but generally it wouldn't have worked out for the best. And Applejack is a very stubborn pony.
Now, that being said, and I know this doesn't really have much to do with Applejack, that number was absolutely spectacular.
Oh, man, yeah.
And even my friend who hates the show just sits there and watches it for the music because he cannot get over Daniel's
It's extremely catchy and has been stuck in my head off and on since in the 2 weeks. So,
I still like it. Forget you. Applejack's a good pony. Stop hating Applejack. No, I think it certainly is not like I think I sit here just waiting for that one moment where just AJ has that, the dress episode that just completely takes her from being, she's a good pony to, whoa, okay, we see the importance now. We see why we want Applejack around. And I think that to some degrees this has at least been better than the two other episodes that AJ had, where one of them just made her look completely incompetent, or just way too stubborn, and the other one was less about her. These two at least focused on her and made her at least a little bit more understandable. Or at least I think that, by fleshing out the Apple family, you flesh out Applejack. So that's
very, very much part of it. Applejack, having character flaws, it still probably has the most mellow flaws of the whole group. And it really, you can see like a real person through her. And through most people, but it's less exaggerated and it's nice.
AJ and Big Mac and Apple Bloom, they've had to grow up without parents. It's been implied that their parents are deceased, and I think Lauren Faust mentioned something offhand in her journal. That's how she kind of imagined it, but it never came up officially. But I mean, if that's how she imagined it, then I definitely think there's a lot more weight to that kind of that implication there. And you have to kind of admire those three characters for being so mature in the face of that.
We have to also point out the fact that we're going into this much detail on a show meant for little girls. This is insane.
True, but the writers of the Matrix like to keep things pretty.
It's great that we're doing this. It's great that there's a show out there where it's just like, oh, we got to get into the minutia of this. We got to. Oh, yeah. What's the?
Well, as Halo Brony said, masculinity be yade.
Yeah. Ugh. All right.
Having them aware that we do this to all their shows kind of, I think, keeps them a little more, focused on making sure everything they do is just kind of perfect.
You're on the record. You got to watch yourself. Check yourself before we wreck yourself. All right, Sheffy.
All right, dear Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, and esteemed guests. I'll get the fan love out of the way and say I've been listening to your podcast for months now. I absolutely love your show and believe wholeheartedly that you guys succeed in giving us bronies a positive image and capture the community as a whole's viewpoint about most issues, like the most recent Derpy debacle and pony archives being taken down. Keep up the excellent work. Anyways, I have a quick story to share followed by an actual question. Recently, my guild in World of Warcraft has gone a little crazy with memegenerator.net. When messing around with internet memes and me outing myself as a brony a few weeks ago, naturally MLP came up. So an officer and another respected guildie went off and watched Friendship and Magic Part 1 together. I joined them in watching Part 2, except mine was from my iTunes library. They definitely enjoy the show, and I may have infected them with a friendship virus. I've heard the officer is already drawing an OC of her favorite pony, and her favorite pony is Rainbow Dash. Don't worry, AC, I'll teach her who the real best pony is in due time.
Heck yeah!
Now for my question. I've seen plenty of pony guilds pop up on the nightly roundup for a long time now, but when I was sent an alt over there, I found the guild not really be that involved or doing things together that much, except for friends who, made the guild together. Now, I can understand that most everyone's an alt or low-level tune with an MLP-themed name, but I find guild chat dead. Due to the nature of MMOs, do you think successful pony-themed guilds can be accomplished from scratch? I suppose it could, but it would almost work better if a pre-existing guild converted to ponies due to the guild leveling system and the difficulty of gathering good players who could even do things together, like raiding. From an avid listener, Sunny Rains. P.S. Attached a screenshot of my priest in WoW. I've been told she looks like Twilight Sparkle a little, but I'll let you be the judge. And attached and included in the show is an image of his Night Elf priest in what looks like the Netherwind regalia and Staff of the Naru.
It is
Glad
quite
someone
purple.
here knows more about WoW than I do.
She's very, very purple. Well, thanks to Transmog, you can look like what you want, and I have played Magic dress up with several of my 80s at this point, 85s at this point. One of the things, due to the nature of MMOs, I think a coherent guild as we're My Little Pony, I don't know if that works too well, because ultimately if you're contending with level 1 as a level 1 guild versus all the random social level 25 guilds, you're not going to do too well. One of the things that's coming down the pipe that I'm really looking forward to is the battle tag system. And that is a less security-intensive version of the Real ID system. So you don't have to know somebody's real name to cross-server group with them. And with the advent of cross-server grouping with Real ID and soon-to-be Battle Tag friends and raiding, you can actually do some MLP-themed things if you know a bunch of people across the servers and you want to have a pony-themed raid night. You just have to set it up with your Real ID friends and all hook up and go, Zerg Serpent Shrine or Zerg Black Temple or Zerg anything at this point, especially if you're 85 and doing anything 80 or below.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I did was just to give you a little thing. It's a little bit hard because I said there are the nightly wrap-ups that explain some of the WoW guilds, but I find that if you're looking, if you're particularly looking for one, you might have just some success typing in regular WoW terms and coming up with some stuff. I found, just typing in Friendship is Magic into WoW's little search box, 3 level 25 guilds. So,
let me guess, they're on, Proudmoore.
Aranithor, Uldum, and Staghelm. So you have those 3 servers right there. Both have Friendship is Magic, 2 Alliance, 1 Horde, and then there's level 15, level 6, level 5, dropping back. And that's
there's actually 24 guilds titled My Little Pony, and they're all, unfortunately, low level. They're all level 1. The top end is 4 on Mataran. And it's actually pretty mixed.
It's already hard to get a good guild in WoW that one is really into WoW and also social enough to be a good guild. And then adding on top of that being huge fans of My Little Pony. It's hard to get all of that together.
From what I've seen, most guilds that form because of some other common interest, I guess, conceptually, I don't really see them as very high level. I mean, I haven't played WoW in a long time, and I'm not super into it. But our guild is called the Church of Jim Henson, and we only have 4 members. So I mean, that that's pretty much the extent of my experience with it. But I do kind of get that idea that you guys are saying that it's kind of hard to merge those two concepts together, especially when you want to get into the higher levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the utility of having a level 25 guild offers so much utility to the average player, that it makes it very hard for new guilds to get off the ground. Because it is such a massive amount of, just required XP to level up a guild. But yeah, Erethdor, Uldum, and Staghelm all have level 25 Friendship is Magic guilds. Ner'zhul has one that's level 15 that has most of the utility, specifically the bonus XP and the quicker Hearthstone. But I mean, let's take a look at the rosters here. Roster. They have 362 people in Friendship is Magic on Erethdor. So I would say if you are interested in a Alliance side guild that seems to have some rather accomplished players, the guildmaster is a paladin named Soren. I would say give them a shout out. And their logo's a muffin. That's great. Friendship is Magic on Uldum. It looks like it also is pretty big. 252 players. And wow, one of these guys has 12,820 achievement points. His cruise points certainly outstrip mine. And yeah, so those three guilds, pretty darn big. Friendship Magic on Staghelm has 339 people that play. 339 members. So if you're really looking for a specific one, I'd check those out.
They seem like they're pretty in it to win it. And as I said, you can friend up with people all over the place. So you don't have to be constrained to that, but that certainly does help. All right, I think we need to move away from WoW talk. We can just keep going on that. That game's kind of infectious. As I say, as Starry Night continues to play her brand new Worgen over there. Uh-huh. Yeah, she's got her headphones on. All right, but Jody, would you like to handle the next one?
Sure thing. Dear Princess Cider and King Sandy and their esteemed guests, just wanted to say you guys have been doing a great job. Listening every Wednesday is a treat and a delight. I do have one question concerning Derpy with all the news centering around her in fandom lately. Can you guys recommend a couple of good Derpy fics? Thanks, guys. Excel Hedge. P.S. Stay out of Fluttershy's shed. No, really, stay out of there.
Yeah, don't go check out Fluttershy's shed. You're better off. I think that the ones that are out there, if you're looking for a derpy fic that makes you feel, I hear Bubbles is really good.
Today, Tomorrow, and Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is the one where Dinky resents her mother for being mute and kind of weird, and it's the book is basically kind of like this missive of love from Derpy to her daughter. I started reading it. It was kind of touching. I can't remember what it was called or who wrote it. I know I'm horrible, but
I have the same kind of story.
It drew me in. It was really interesting.
I'm sadly unfamiliar, but our fans could always leave a note on our page and tell us.
What were the two that you mentioned about?
Well, there's Today, Tomorrow, and Forever, which is like a really sad fic where like Dinky gets taken away from Derpy, and it's sad. And Bubbles, again, is also sad. But what's great is you can go to FemFiction and just search by character, and on there's 552 stories talking about that have her as a listed character. So what you can do is basically search by character and then look for the tag that you want and look at the ratings. Here's one called Twilight's Answering Machine, which might be funny.
Oh, I actually do have one. Okay. That was... I remember that I read one about Dinky Doo finding out who her father was through Derpy. And I just... As Roy just mentioned in the chat because he's listening in, that was his fic. So, yeah, Roy G. Biv wrote Dinky Doo's Father Revealed, and I read that one so long ago.
Oh, then there was
and enjoyed it.
then there was that very, very funny one back in the day called Derpy's Lover. That
Oh.
that
okay,
one is
yeah, that one rings a bell for me.
that one's rather saucy if you don't know what it is, but at the end of it you're like, oh, what did I just read? That's funny.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about. And
a lot of
also,
it-
I hear somebody else has mentioned a little bit later in our thing, but I hear a lot of good things about shipping and handling.
Yeah. But like also Derpy ends up in a lot of Doctor Who's fixed as a companion. So if you like Doctor Who's, and there's some pretty good ones out there, then hey, sometimes Derpy's a companion.
Yeah, just go check FemFiction. It's got tons of stuff in there. You can rate them by ratings and everything like this. I see what looks like a pretty fun fic with Applejack and Derpy having to band together to do something, and I can only imagine that going perfectly well. Then that was called Witch of the Westmareland. So
The Derpy's Lover was actually written by Roy G. Griff.
yeah, I know. He's on this call.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay.
And
Being quiet.
I just one of those that it stuck to me, and then it's like, oh, I remember this. You read it, then all the way, it's like, oh.
For those of you who are for those of you out here who are unfamiliar, Roy G. Biv is our tireless head of guest relations, also a member of our board of directors, and quite an accomplished fanfic writer in his own right.
And just stealthily listening in on our conversations right now.
Yes. Just typey away, just being sneaky. All right, well, that's more than enough derp for you this week. I'm sure you can get lost there. All right, Mike, would you like to hit the next one?
Sure thing. I'm assuming you meant Mark.
I knew I was getting something wrong. Brah, brah, brah.
But Mike will be attending our convention, so
Yes.
don't miss it. As a member of the relatively small female Brony population, I figured it was my duty to write you guys. First things first, I love, and so much more love you. Really. Your podcast makes my day. This community makes so much stuff that it is really impossible to keep up with everything. But with the assistance of you wonderful gents, it's a bit easier. Anyways, I'll cut to the chase. I have a few questions for you two. One, I know you talk about posts you read. There a lot, but do you two ever post on Ponychan? My main interest in asking this is that I know I and several of my fellow Bronies / Pegasisters would really love to read / discuss anything you post about. Two, obviously you do this podcast, but to people outside the pony community, how open of a Brony are you? I ask this because in general, I've gotten very mixed answers from this question. Personally, I'm about as public as you can get. When I grade my students' papers, I draw a pony from the show giving feedback along with their grade. Lots and tons of love, Lily Flowers. P.S. Twilight Sparkle is best pony.
Yep.
Grading ponies when grading papers, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Little
Well,
bits of art.
if that's the case, then Lily Flowers, that's not how you spell Cheerilee.
That was silly.
Let's see. Do we post on Ponychan? I do not.
Nope.
I know that our good friend Imbullshit does, who is hastily cleaning up this audio as we speak. Hey, man, thanks for doing it. So he is definitely out there. He actually writes for the Daily Oat, so you should go check out his writings and everything, because he's pretty good at it. And
It's like, I save all of my opinions up and I put them here.
yes, he uses the word. He uses the words from his mouth.
Yes.
We sometimes do get a little opinionated on Twitter. You can follow us there, and that's probably a good way to do it.
I have so much things.
So much friendship to give.
So
on your
much
Twitter.
friendship. So many friends.
But let's see. So with the podcast, how do people outside the pony community deal with it? How open am I? I'm relatively open. Definitely some people at work that I trust know about it, but like my main boss, I don't tell, because he's one of those people that would just kind of go, and I just wouldn't entirely get it too much. And this is the same, like, there's definitely people at work that are like, oh, okay, that's cool. There's one person that is the negative Nancy, but that's kind of how he is. But for the most part, I mean, if it's somebody that I trust enough to actually like, it's not something where I'm just like, hi, this is my real name, by the way, I really like My Little Pony. It's not how I do my introductions. But you know, if they seem cool, they can be on the inside. What about you, Sheffer?
Well, I do have Rainbow Dash's Cutie Markers vinyl in my back window of my car.
Nerd.
So I've kind of put that out there. Thankfully, it's a semi-obscure thing, and the people that know what it is will know what it is, and the people that don't, it's just some logo.
And yeah, the people, it's kind of like
it's not Calvin peeing on anything or truck nuts like most things in Texas seem to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like seeing a Homestar Runner sticker on someone's car in 2004. You're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Homestar Runner.
I for the longest time on my old car, I had a Half-Life 2 logo on the back, and every once in a while somebody would come up behind me, just start honking a horn, and I'd forget I had it there. I'd be like, God, who is this jerk? Later go like, oh yeah, I still got that bumper sticker.
Oh yeah.
I have
Lambda symbol.
Yeah, so.
I know for myself that I'm definitely completely open about being a brony. Both sides, like in the community, I've put my real name down in plenty of places, and on Facebook I put Bajadi down and kind of just let the two merge because I don't think it's something that really necessarily needs to be hidden away. I don't see a good reason for it to.
Yeah, it's just something I'm a fan of. You know, it's not. And as we have said before, it's not like you have to. Mom, Dad, I like cartoon horses.
I have something very important to tell you. Please sit down.
Part of that might be that the Northwest region is a very liberal and accepting place, but beyond that, well, there's nothing really that I can lose from it. I don't have a job where if like my boss found out, like, oh God, who knows what would happen.
Oh no, well, see, I'm kind of in the same. Like my dad, when I was younger, we would watch Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and I've actually got my parents to watch some of Ponies, and they think it's great. So I mean, it's like, oh, this is kind of like. This reminds me of Animaniacs. Well, exactly.
Yeah. It's mostly just getting past the name.
I showed them a couple clips. They liked it, and now they watch it too. So,
the only people that I've actually gotten any kind of flack for, coming out as a brony, if you will, are people who are internet people in their own right. I mean, just people who aren't those who aren't on 4chan all the time, or the internet, or something awful, or Tumblr. They don't really seem to care either way. It's just the people who are like.
People on the internet aren't people. Oh, wait.
I think I was in the grocery store with my friends, and my friend, just to get a rise out of me, is telling this girl he's talking to, "Oh, this bleep is into My Little Pony," and she just like glares at me because they were talking about. It's obviously that she's on B all the time, so I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." And
a lot of it are people that just don't like how much pony there is on the internet. Like, oh, you're part of that movement?
So much pony. Any message board you go, there's always somebody with a pony av on page 1. You're just like, oh, we have things we could talk about.
I did a Google image.
A little bit obnoxious.
I did a Google image search for something completely unrelated the other day. It had nothing to do with ponies, and it was just happens to be like a Fluttershy just stuck right in the middle of the results randomly. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's
like you can go to pretty much any forum. Like MMO Champion has had 4 or 5 ultra threads. I mean, and that's WoW. That's a WoW blog / website / whatever, and it's almost always in the recent forum posts. Because it's always getting updated.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, that definitely a lot going on there. We're pretty out there. I mean, we do a My Little Pony podcast for Celestia's sake. You can only be so hidden. Okay, let's see. I guess it's my turn. Okay, dearest deities, Chef Sandy and Apple Cider, thank you for your show. It makes my week. Chef Sandy needs to be gone less, though, even though I love Midnight Shadow and his atrociously awesome accent. Anyway, I'm emailing you at this time on behalf of the Twitter Ponies role play on Twitter. for which I play MLP_GLaDOS, MLP_Aria, and numerous others. So my question is, what do you think of the various pony RPs floating around the web? Am I just crazy because I send 300 plus texts a day to this Twitter app, RP, causing my GPA to drop drastically? I know that I'm not the only over-obsessed brony to do this, but what do you think about this and pony roleplays in general? I am looking forward to hearing your responses. Admiral QB.
Oh my.
Don't drop your GPA, bro.
Yeah, okay, so pony RPs, cool, whatever floats your boat, because pony is not the only RP going on the internet, especially on Twitter. But if it's affecting your grades, dude, seriously, chill out. You know, having good grades and being able to graduate is really freaking important, and the ponies can wait.
There's plenty. I mean, I've seen the Twitter RP, and those guys are definitely in it.
Oh yeah, it's like I couldn't even break into that. I'm like, what? I have to follow a million different people.
When we first opened our forums, the first thing that's happened is that people snagged the main 6 names and started RPing as ponies for a little while. Like, I think someone snagged like user 4 snagged Fluttershy's name and is like, if you want, you can stay at my house during the convention. If that's okay. You know, just going on and until one of our moderators was like, wait, what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So, it was pretty entertaining, actually.
Yeah, there's plenty of places. I know that there's a Canterlot that's big for, if you like forum RP, that's out there. That's pretty cool. I do some mush role-playing myself, so if one of the places I go to is the Equestrian Dawn Mush, I've mentioned before, which is pretty cool. It keeps growing and has a pretty good staff behind it. But yeah, I just don't let it affect your life, dude. Maybe cut it down to 200, 150. You know, don't let your GPA drop too much. That's kind of important for you. You know?
Yeah, I got to say that I think no one knows the pressures of trying to, wrestle our GPA with ponies more than Vijati and I. We're both students at UW currently. Go Dogs, by the way. And we've both just, we've really had to work very hard to juggle, full-time university course load with, planning this convention. But I will say, I love RP, I love role-playing, and I totally understand the lure of it. You said you've been on mushes. I've been on mucks for about 16 years, so, I mean, I'm totally into it to some extent, but lately ponies has been taking my time.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. All right, Chef, what we got next?
All right, moving on, we have another email. Wow, What a surprise. Okay. Hey, Cider, not sure if you get these emails directly or if they're screened, but I was curious if you were from Atlanta. For the longest time, I thought I was the only brony in the entire state of Georgia. Needless to say, the meetup group on our end is less than ideal. But then again, you might not even be from Georgia, and this could be a very awkward email. By the way, love your show, love your work, and I really appreciate that you do all you do for the community. I made that Ballad of the Brony video, so I'm very thankful for others who share my line of work through yours is much greater. Okay, thanks again for your time, Saberspark.
Used to live in Appalachia. I don't anymore. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
You're in California.
Yeah, so I'm not over there. Though I did speak to the guy that has the Fluffy Hoof is the one that has the Rainbow Dash Network meetup group thing. And I was like, dude, we got this email. Come on, buck it up. Set up a meetup group and actually do it. And I still have to go pressure him some because he's like, I don't get out much. I'm like, you know what's really good at getting you out? A meetup group. Come on, let's do this. So hopefully this will clear up a little bit on your end. But yeah, I'm not over there though. I do make occasional trips because I have family and friends in the area. So, but yeah, here's to hoping that things clear up. And if they don't, you know what? Just go ahead and set up a meetup group. I mean, I've been working using meetup.com for a while with the Bay Area stuff, and it's so like easy to use. It's almost dangerously easy to use because somebody will be like, hey, I want to go just do this event over here. And people just start filing in and they do it. Like right now, today, there is a meetup group, like an hour north of me with like 25 people having pizza. I couldn't
Where
make
is that,
it.
by the way? I'm just curious.
What, where's what?
Where's that event? I'm just curious.
Emeryville, I think.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, Walnut Creek, sorry. Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so that's up where they're having it right now. So yeah, they're having a whole bunch of pizza in that area, and just being silly bronies. But if you know what, if that don't happen, and as I said, I'll whip him into shape. If not, I highly suggest setting up something there. The secret sauce for using that is you set up the group, you get all the way to the end, to the point where you put in the credit card information, then you leave the page, and in a day, they'll send you a coupon code to entice you into it. Super cool.
Ah, very slick.
I know.
It's not a trap.
Nope. You just put all the way, just like, all right, dude, you're all set. It's going to be $60. Back out, and they go, hey, we'll make it less. And you go, all right, that sounds good. So, do that. All right, let's see. That was Chef. All right, but Jody, we'll get through these.
Oh, yeah. Dear Apple Cider and Chef Sandy, once again, I'd like to commend you on a most entertaining performance. The show is wonderfully consistent in quality and content from week to week, and the delivery of bonus material as of late is nothing short of awesome. Professionalism such as yours is underrated and truly sets Bronyville above the rest. What touches me most is how close you've allowed us, and as your audience, to grow towards you. Every week, it seems like we get to learn another nugget of your lives outside the show, or learn your professional feelings towards another something. In other words, it's like you've become friends that I look forward to hearing from each week. I'd like to share with you guys a little bit about myself beyond what I have through my previous emails. As I've established, I'm an artist with a passion for ponies and birds. My love for both has come together in some cool ways. That of which I am most proud of is a close circuit of friends that has come to be known as Birdie Bros. Once complete strangers to one another, we are all now very good friends and a common love for birds. The friendship is commemorated with the drawing of an anthropomorphic bird by either myself or my dearest bro to serve as somewhat of a persona that we can associate our experiences to. This has proven to be quite the morale boost for those involved, as each of them were dealing with personal struggles very recently. Giving each other a friendship to rely on has helped each of us cope with the difficulties and challenges of life. A lesson I'm proud to attribute to my love of friendship as magic. All in all, I'd love to share with you two about these friendship adventures, as well as my growing efforts to better share in the pony fandom. I'd hate to step out of line and onto some pony's hooves, ouch, but it would make this pony very happy to hear as a guest on the show to share with you the fruits of my experience. Always your faithful listener, the Lone Crow.
All right, sounds good, dude. We will have to. You should probably send just a little bit more explanation on the guesty part, because we'll have to see, because as I said, it's a little when we have to be just a little stringent, so we just to be safe on our end. But great to hear that you guys have used the show, and that you love our show as much that you rely on it and like it so much. We love getting these emails when it sounds like we're making us and the show itself is making such a positive impact. So send a little reply on that, and we'll see what we can drum up on that. And that does it. That was a lot of emails. That was a little bit more than usual. Get through it, but you guys send plenty of it, that's for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and move this forward. 5-star iTunes bronies. You guys are cool. You guys are awesome. You guys have given us 465 ratings on iTunes, which
465 5-star ratings.
5-star ratings. True. Yeah.
Yep.
There's very few of the other ones, which also makes us happy. You guys are super gracious. Please keep those up. It's super awesome when we get those, and we do pay attention. Your comments are highly, highly appreciated, and we're always pretty high up there in the TV area, which is great for a podcast about a show which is aimed towards, small
6 to 12-year-old little girls and their parents.
Yep. And this brings us close to the end, guys. This is it. This is the last round, the last thing we got to cover. And it's cool things. You got to give us one cool thing that we should talk about. And my cool thing, I'm not going to describe to you. It does deal with the derpy thing some, but because of kind of the copyrightiness that this could be, I don't want to fully endorse it. But you should probably check out this video. It's pretty good.
Strong language advisory.
Yeah. Watch it because there is a chat window, and the chat window kind of goes a little bit oatmeal. So I would watch it, but it is if there is any question out there if derpy means anything to this community, this will explain it as best I think anything can. So, Chef, what about you?
All right, mine is Loading Ready Run's Pony Video. Loading Ready Run is a group of guys and gals that do videos for The Escapist and do their own stuff. They did like the Daily Drop and a bunch of other things. They're pretty funny, and they made a video of their slow descent into full ponydom, and it's pretty funny because they do have like the general reactions like this what is this? This is terrible. Oh, this is good. So, it's pretty funny. It's not terribly long, but, a link is in the show notes. Check it out.
Jody!
Yo. All right, my one cool thing. I think I'm going to pimp out an artist friend of mine who's down also in the Northwest region. And his name is Sweatshirt. You might have heard that name. That's what he goes by. And he's been putting art out for the community for probably a half a year now. And the one that I particularly linked was his recent derpy picture called Forget Me. And it's a really beautiful piece that kind of just goes along with a lot of the derpy stuff that's been happening recently. But I'd definitely recommend checking this artist out because he's probably my number one in the community right now.
He has mad skills.
And he will also be at Everfree Northwest.
Yay! Sweatshirt, draw Cider and Chef. That'd be cool. No, I shouldn't do that. That's mean.
Yeah.
That's mean. But I like it. It's super, super slick design. These pictures are awesome. And he's in the little chat thing we're in. So it's like, hey, Sweatshirt, you're cool. And everybody says, yeah, he's cool. All right, Mark, what do you got?
Well, this video is not exactly new, but I find it entertaining every time I watch it. And it's basically this British guy who he's more well known for doing these blow by blow Twilight novel reviews. It just talks about how ridiculous the Twilight series is. And the first video that I was introduced to him was he was with a couple of his British friends, and it was late at night, and they were introduced to a Walmart Supercenter for the first time. And they just are going around with a camera, like experiencing all these hilarious culture shocks and just making fun of all the stuff in the store, and they really stuck with me. And then I found a video where his American friend introduces him to Friendship is Magic for the first time and films his reaction. And it's just hilarious to watch. I don't want to spoil any of the good parts from it, so I highly recommend you head on over to that link and check it out. It's only about 5 minutes long, but it's definitely pretty funny.
And just for the sake of letting people know who these people are, Narimon is the guy that's being interviewed. And although people know him for the Twilight things, he has been actually a pretty significant figure in the YouTube communities for a while. He's in a band called Chameleon Circuit that does music about Doctor Who.
Yeah, I've heard of their stuff. I like.
Yeah, so he's a part of Chameleon Circuit, which that side of the internet is probably where he actually got his fame. And the girl interviewing him is Christina Horner. I Talk to Snakes, and you might also know her from the Know Your Meme video that they did about ponies a while ago. And she's also a Seattle local, and we're trying to make sure she's open the weekend of Everfree, but she also might be attending.
Know Your Meme dudes, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would
so
be.
We could very well get a Know Your Meme representation at Everfree.
I actually would like to have those guys on our show at some point, Chef, because they seem like they're very into the memes, but it's just kind of like just noticing by their video. I think they're in it. They're in it to win.
Oh yeah. I could definitely probably set that up for you if you want.
Let's do it. Making pony connections.
Just keep in mind, every pony, the more guests from the community who decide to come as attendees, the less room there are for other tickets. So sign up now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do it quickly. It's in Seattle. That's a fun place to be.
It definitely is, especially during the summer. It is just gorgeous during the summer.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do this. We got to wrap this up so we can these jokers can actually start planning a convention at some point. Can't keep them on this horn all day long. First off, I want to go ahead and thank my awesome co-host there, Chef. Thank you for bringing the thunder, as I like to say.
Yeah, I'm helping.
Yosh. I want to thank Bajodi and Mark for both coming on, talking about their con, and discussing this Rainbow Dash episode.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, not a problem.
Hey.
It's definitely our pleasure.
Hey, it's great to have you guys on. And also another thanks out to our gracious fans, our listeners. You guys, as always, are super awesome. I could not ask for more gracious, more awesome fans. I say that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are super cool, and I love I sincerely, you guys are my friends. It's awesome having you around. It's hard to say sometimes, but yes, it's great to just know that we are helping and, just making you guys just as happy to listen to this show as some of you are to the actual main episodes itself. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. You can go over to BronyShow.com. At BronyShow.com, you can go check out our webpage, go check out all the posts that we have there, the episodes. You can find the show notes there about everything we've talked about during the whole episode, so you should go check that out if you want to find anything that we've said. You can send us an email to bronyville@gmail.com. You should go leave us an iTunes review, because that's really cool, and that helps us get further up there. We can't let Kevin Smith hog the spotlight. What's he know? You can go ahead and follow us on Twitter. My Twitter address is @Bronyville.
And mine is Chef Sandy.
Yep. And meetup groups. Mine is the Bronies of Northern California, while Chef has
North Texas Bronies.
Yup.
You should add a link in those show notes there.
Yeah, I probably should, but, I have to get to that. And the conventions we're going to be hitting up recently are going to be Animation on Display coming up this month in February here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Everfree Northwest up there in Seattle, and at this point it does look like that we are intending to hit up BronyCon over there in Jersey. So let's go ahead. That's it for this week. Thank you all for listening. We will catch you next week. Sleep well, every pony.
Adios.
Till next time.
See you.
There's a place I belong where I'm never wrong, but I think that it's a long way from here. In my heart, I know I'll find a way to leave my troubles behind. I'll be special someday if I can find a way to be needed by my friends. Maybe they'll need me someday. All my friends say good job. We know you did your best, but it's best if we go it alone from here. So I'll sit and wait for the day when they ask, when they say we need your help, Derby. And I'll be there in a hurry, but I'm waiting to be needed. I'll be waiting right here. I'll be waiting alone. I'll be waiting.